If you take somebody aside as a leader or take somebody aside and just say, here's what I think you're doing wrong, or here's what I think you should be doing better, you've missed the opportunity of saying that in public and having the whole team say, well, I don't think that's right. I think you're wrong. So that corroboration of the team that creates greatness needs to be done in the open, not privately. Does that make sense? So candor, the shifting from conflict avoidant organizations, from respectful organizations. Can we have a mic down here while I'm continuing to, as soon as you get a mic, I'll call on you. That's the shift around candor and the shift around peer-to-peer coaching. Your coaches are not just your boss. Your coaches need to be your team. Now, what does it mean to be as a leader to create a team that would coach each other? I'll give you a simple high return practice. It's called an open 360. These teams do a practice called an open 360. Has anybody ever heard of a 360 review? You know, it's like where everybody does feedback to each other confidentially, which I think is not the courageous way that I'm talking about. I'm looking for open 360. So what you do is you have everybody go around the table and we start, what's your name, young lady? Amber. We all talk about Amber. And everyone's going around and say, Amber, what I most appreciate about you on this team is X. Boom, 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 boom. And then we'd say, Amber, because I care about your success and we need to make sure that you're successful, I might suggest. And everybody goes around and shares that with Amber. And then you go to the next person. It's the same thing. What you're doing is a simple exercise that primes the pump of realizing that we are each other's coaches. And Elf Beauty does that on a quarterly basis. And they do it about, the feedback is all about that last quarter. Here's what I've noticed in the last quarter that you've crushed it on. Here's some things you can improve on. And then they go to the next person and they all appreciate that feedback. Yes, sir. Yep.
You hear me? Yeah, it's hard to interrupt you because you're making so many great points, but I wanted to jump back to what you were saying about a social contract with the team where there's an informal set of rules that are kind of floating around, but just wanted to hear your opinion along with candor on like a team charter, like almost a literal contract where you lay out the norms and responsibilities and values of the team out front so that people have...
So I've never met you before, right?
No.
I've never met you before, and I didn't bring you here.
Nope,
right?
I'm not a plant.
Okay, great. He's not a plant.
I'm from LA, but I'm not a plant.
He just teed up my new book. So the way the new book is written, and it comes out in November, and I'm happy to give everybody in this room, I think I can do that. My publisher won't appreciate it, but I'm happy to give everybody in this room a couple of things in a moment around that. But basically what we've done is we've taken 10 shifts of which I've been talking about. Every chapter has a hero story of one of the companies like Elf that crushes it in that area. But then the next thing they do is there's a statement of a charter around that shift. So we are courageous and challenge each other when it's risky. That is a charter statement for one of the 10 shifts, right? And so you have to have these 10 critical charter statements that we all agree upon. The next thing we do is we offer you 2 or 3 questions because I want you to have a diagnostic once or twice a year that asks the people you're working with, are we doing this?